And as people trickle in, I'll introduce myself. My name is Eleni Artemis. I'm an Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission at the University of Denver. So I'm here to answer any admissions questions you all may have. We have a Q&A open on this Zoom, so you should be able to access the Q&A at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We also have closed captioning enabled. And if anytime you have to leave the Zoom or step aside for a bit, just know that we are recording it and we will send out the recording to you all after this meeting as well. Again, thanks for joining us. I'm going to pass it off to our amazing team and program here, going over to Kayla Walker.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kayla Walker, and I am the Student and Academic Services Manager for Kinesiology and Sports Studies. So we're actually one of the few programs on campus with a dedicated staff advisor. So once you come to campus, I'll be your advisor for your second year on, but always happy to help and answer any questions that might come up over the summer, next few weeks, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Dr. Brian Garrity, who is kind of the brains behind the whole operation, got this program developed, started, and absolutely growing like crazy. So go ahead to Dr. G.
All right. Thank you for the excessive praise. So yeah, I'm Dr. Brian Garrity, been in DU since 2014. Helped create our master's degree in sport coaching and then our undergraduate degree in kinesiology and sports studies, and have been fortunate to be joined and bring on board the other folks here. We got Dr. Kuklik and Campbell and Kayla Walker, who you just met too. So thrilled to be with y'all tonight too. We'll have a few things to say about ourselves, but really too, this is a great time for y'all to start dropping in specific questions in the Q&A that you have. Get us started on that thing. I've said it before that I always prioritize the people that are here first. So we are professors and coaches. We have no problem just talking to ourselves and saying things for long periods of time, but I'd rather have a conversation and see what y'all's interests are or concerns, questions, other odds and ends. So with that, I will get to popcorn over to Dr. Clayton Kuklik.
Oh, geez. Thanks. Thanks, Dr. G. I'm Dr. Clayton Kuklik. I was probably the second one of the group of our entire team to maybe come to the University of Denver. I came on board in 2016 as part of the Masters of Art and Sport Coaching program, and since I've been a part of some of the other expansions and developments we've had into the undergraduate and kinesiology and sports studies undergraduate program. So it's been great to see all this growth and this the development over the last couple of years here at DU. Yeah, like Dr. G, want to hear from y'all and hear about your interests in kinesiology. Kinesiology is a broad field of study, so we've been in athletics in a couple different avenues in sport and physical activities, but I want to hear from y'all and your interest in kinesiology. I will popcorn it over to Dr. Campbell.
All right, I'm going to start by giving props to Avery for throwing a Q&A in the chat. We'll get to that after we get to introductions, I'm assuming, unless I'm missing something. So keep those questions rolling in. Yeah, I'm Dr. Sarah Campbell. I've been here at DU. This is my third year, and I teach primarily in the kinesiology undergrad program. I teach a lot of the required courses, so like 5 or 6 required courses that we can talk more about too, the program of study if y'all want to. And yeah, what else? I oversee internships too. So if y'all have any questions about internships, that is a required component of the degree. I'm happy to answer those. Yeah, former coach. I used to play and coach soccer. I coached strength conditioning for a while too, and was also a coach developer working with coaches, and now just really enjoy teaching undergrad students and helping y'all get where you want to go. So I don't know, Kayla, if there's anything else you want to cover from here, if we want to go to Q&A, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so let's just open it up to Q&A. Hear from about kind of your career interests. If you have any questions about required classes in the program, yeah, let's just open it up. Sorry. We have other faculty members who are struggling to get into school, so I'm messing up at the same time, so I apologize.
Take care of them, Kay. I got Avery here too on the sport management question. So Avery too. So great question. The base of the degree program in my master's degree is actually in sport management and human performance and sports studies from the University of Tennessee. So that's where I was a strength conditioning coach at for 8 years in my 20s, which was now too long ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. The core program at DU in our kinesiology and sports studies program is 20 credits. So there's 5 4-credit classes that are all required. And it's a combination of social sciences, physical activity classes. And so with those 5 classes, we try to kind of cover the base of what we want all students to know. From there, students need another 20 credits to complete the BA degree in kinesiology and sports studies. So those extra 20 credits, at least just in the major, are really up to whatever you want to pursue. That would be 20 credits in kinesiology. So if you know you want to do sport management, you might select organization administration classes, leadership classes. You could do research class or an independent study oriented towards sport management. You would also probably either double major, take a minor in business or marketing or something like that too. So depending on what area of management, people go into things, right, like sales and marketing, facilities, athletic administration, law, accounting. There's all sorts of different careers. So one of the things that Dr. Campbell has developed too in our foundations class is really a great overview. And as well as Ms. Walker here has got 1-page sheets and various handouts about all the different careers and options, organizations, and avenues to get students to understand the gamut of career and professional development in those areas. So it doesn't have to be sciencey in that area if you like. Now, for others on the call that are more interested, we've got a lot of students that are also interested in pre-health or sports science, strength conditioning, physiology, biomechanics, data analytics perhaps as well, pre-PT or pre-MD or double major minors in those areas. And those folks will start to take more of the biochemistry, anatomical kinesiology, and our classes like sports science, strength conditioning 2, 1 and 2. They could take my weightlifting class where we do a lot of that kind of thing. And then they could do research in a more kind of natural science way too. So with that, I'll be quiet. I'll give one quick plug. I think our faculty as well, is very diverse, eclectic, broad-based with also specialization too. So a nice group of folks that understand what we call biopsychosocial perspectives. They kind of see the world and its complexity and different ways of knowing. And then we all do our special research that we do as well in our areas because we all have specialized PhDs. So others want to jump in, or Clayton or Sarah want to jump in too?
Well, I was just going to add, Sarah, maybe if you want to, the internship component would be the other piece that I think G might not have said, that you could be engaged in a sport management internship of some capacity that's directly related to your interests, which is also embedded in the major as part of the your graduation requirements. But I'll pause there and pass it over to Dr. Campbell if she has anything to add about the internship experience there.
Yeah, I think I would just echo in that Kine 2000, which is our foundations course where I do cover all the career paths. You build out a portfolio in there too, where you take time to investigate one career path of interest, and you look at what's the education I would need to pursue to be successful here. What are some different internships that I could pursue in this field? As Dr. G mentioned, what are the different areas in sport management you can go into? And so you really drill down and focus on one career path of interest to make sure you're prepared and good to go throughout your studies. And then to continue to try to make you a strong candidate when and if you do go on the job market for sport management, we like you to do at least one internship, right? It's actually a requirement. And sometimes students will opt to do 2, right? They may do it 1 quarter in sport management. They may decide that's not for them. They may do another quarter in physical therapy to test that out. So it gives you an opportunity to get on the ground, mentoring with other professionals who are in the field, and observing what it would be like to actually work in that career path. So yeah, that's sort of the internship component.
I'll jump in and read out the one question too. Avery too, if you got a follow up from that too, pop it back in the Q&A. Happy to continue the conversation. I'm gonna jump to Cheryl Mills, who wrote for students interested in pursuing coaching as a career. We'd like to see that. What support do you offer students as practical experience while at DU? So I put in just a couple of notes right there. One, all of our faculty have been coaches in different areas: soccer, strength conditioning, football, youth, a variety of youth sports, baseball, another high performance soccer, cross country. So let me go back. So we have a certain kind of practical experience and knowledge, and we're all very good instructional designers and have backgrounds in teaching. So one of the things that we do with number one here is that the curriculum was designed purposefully to cover the gamut of careers within kinesiology and sports studies. What's also really beneficial is that the DU degree covers the gen ed curriculum, and then you have to do either a double major or at least a major and a minor. And that flexibility, and there's so many credit hours you take on the quarter system, and it's the same amount of contact hours in the classroom as the semester system, but students get to get exposure and often do a major and multiple minors. And so like when we design our classes and we sit around and talk about, the main phrase that we'll say is, what do students need to know and do at the end of this class? What do we want them to get out of this class? What do we want them to get out of the curriculum map as well as we sequence the entire curriculum? So we think about the liberal arts education, broad-based education, as well as then funneling into graduate schools and professional schools and being applied people. We know that most folks don't want to get on doing research or become professors, professional researchers. If they do, great, we'll help them, mentor them with that, and we've got those opportunities. But we know that most students want to go into practice as well. The second piece then is the internship. That's a required piece if you're in the major. If you're in the minor, you don't have to do an internship. And we encourage folks, they have the option to start their internship early as well. So I'll put a plug for Dr. K here. His PhD is actually in reflective practice. He specifically studied undergraduate students' reflective practice in coaching. So one of the things that, again, we think about with the internship and sequencing that and integrating it with the curriculum is that it's not just courses, goodbye. It's constantly supporting and thinking about what do they need to grow and reflect and how to reflect on that experience. Next point I put in there, number 3, our career and professional development folks and the resume building folks, as well as us, will review those things. We've seen quite the range of resumes, so we want to help students hone those things into 1 to 2 pages of really well-worded, concise, highlighting their achievements and why they should get an opportunity. And then related to that would be the last thing that I alluded to earlier is really us. Our faculty constantly get awarded by students anonymously. We don't know until after the fact that students have nominated us for what we call a career champion award. And so when a student says, Cheryl, and now if you're, I think prospective student, or I don't know if sometimes I can't tell if parents are on the call too, but when you tell us what you're interested in, and you have Dr. Campbell for 3 classes, you have me for 2 classes, you see us and you've got multiple advisors like Miss Walker and us too constantly. When we know what students want, we go out of our way to try to get them what they want. I say that within reason too. We've had students that are like, I can't wait to be the head NFL coach for the Denver Broncos. And we're like, well, that might be a 20-year career, but take it easy, one step at a time. And I'm serious. I've had students say that, that kind of thing. But when you say like, hey, I want to become a coach or I want to do this in strength conditioning, we have contacts and we've got a database of friends and other resources within the state, out of the state. So I don't know if Dr. Campbell, you ready to jump in on that one?
Yeah, just 2 things I want to build off of. First is the fact that kinesiology is like broadly defined as the study of human movement. And I think all of our faculty very much so believe in that we want to get you out there moving and learning about how to teach people to move too. And so there's a very practical component to it. You're not just going to be sitting in a classroom, you're going to be doing things. So I think that helps prepare you for a coaching career. And then I'll also plug that we just launched a 4+1 program. where if you are interested in going the coaching route and you want to continue your education and specialize in coaching specifically, you can do a undergraduate in kinesiology and a master's in sport coaching if you wanted to in a 5-year sequence. I don't know if Dr. K, there's anything else you want to add to that briefly.
Yeah, nice plug in there. Yeah, I think yeah, I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you, but yeah, certainly some dual programs have been launched lately, and we had ours approved. I guess last year we had just launched first 2 students into that 4+1 dual program, which is a nice segue from undergraduate education into graduate education in a 5-year period that it's designed for. So the other nice part about it too, hypothetically, you finish your undergraduate career in kinesiology, the master's program is online, so you could hypothetically go start working, coaching anywhere in the United States, and then also finishing up your master's degree in that 5th year as well. So that's a nice, yeah, it would be a nice sequence and a nice package there in a 5-year period. One last thought that came to mind with the coaching, also coming down the in the future is also the first, to my knowledge, coaching certification and accreditation coming down the pipe by 2030. The NSCA has a accreditation process that'll be going through for this to be a certified strength and conditioning specialist. And we're going up for that accreditation, so that would be another advantage to the kinesiology undergraduate program and/or master's or graduate level. But my point is that our programs will be accredited for that certification if it's desirable, which would correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the first coaching certification that may be required by the NCAA. Accredited coaching education program. So
I'm going to jump in and answer the one question on research opportunities too. This one we see a lot too. 2 of the things that we see the most often too are research and then like jobs, like, right? Like, makes a lot of sense. So the one of the things that we've curated too on our Digication page, which is our student success portal sort of page, is a variety of grants and scholarships, and internally and externally, and some of those are specific to research opportunities. We have master students that are conducting research. We don't really have a lot of undergraduate students doing research yet with our master students, because the master students have been traditionally, nearly in every single case, currently practicing coaches. So they're tend to be a little bit older, also very applied. Some of them do go on to get doctoral degrees, either a clinical doctorate in psychology, PhD. We've had some going to get PhDs, some continue maybe get another master's degree. But those students that do that and go to get a doctoral degree tend to do a little bit of research and publish and present at academic conferences in a more traditional way. But because those master's students are distance, that sort of synergy with our undergraduate in our kines program doesn't really happen much. That doesn't mean too that we can't also partner our undergraduate students with on-campus graduate students from most likely our sport and performance psychology program. We've had students in the kines program that have worked with our professors and faculty and us in collaboration in biology and engineering, sometimes in business. So it depends on what the students are kind of interested in, and really kind of building, again, that scaffolding in the curriculum of, okay, take this class, or let's do this independent study, do a lit review. I've got an undergraduate student, or 2 of them, that I've worked with in the past 6 months on various projects in fitness and personal training and in sports science. So just depends on what they're interested in as well, and then we can pair them up with the appropriate kind of faculty or collaborators. Anything else we want to elaborate on too? Now we're live, or?
Yeah, I kind of just want to expand on what you're saying too with faculty as collaborators, and kind of touching on somebody else asking how many students we have in the major. And I'm not exaggerating when I say every single student that declares their major, their number one reason every time is just faculty. That, maybe this wasn't what they attended DU with the intention. They take a few classes and just absolutely fall in love with the field and with all of the support and knowledge that they're getting from our faculty. So they're humble. They're not going to brag on themselves, but they're phenomenal. So it's truly the greatest strength of this department. Yeah.
You talking about us?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, all I do is have jokes. Well, I'll say one thing. There's not a new question. Some of y'all are asking great questions. I love that qualification. Some of you, there's the one of you that the question. No, the the opportunities with DU athletics in particular varies too based on the sport and the coach and the student. And before you get going with a Division I athletic program, you really want to situate yourself and be sure that you're ready to do that too. Right, the cultural capital, the esteem that we hold D1 athletics and professional teams is really high, right? We tend to think of those as being elite and very cool to do too. You also don't want to start off on a bad note or not kind of be ready for the pressure, the intensity, the focus that level tends to have. There are a lot of really good coaches that start off at the youth level or high school level. They really get time and opportunity and growth around people that can help them grow before they decide if they should decide to then coach at a collegiate or professional level too. Nowadays, there's a lot more coaches that are in a performance club gym setting too that are coaching up youth athletes and they're making good money doing those sorts of things too, right? I mean, it's part of the change in today's world is youth sports are growing like mad too. So I just say that it's just as a word of hopefully counsel and career progression and seriousness too. That if you want to do those things, you can get there for sure, and we can help you get there. Just be ready for it too, because it's having coached at Tennessee and other folks have coached in high pressure places, and they're not waiting around hand holding folks too often. So.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a related question in there about interning with the soccer team here. I'm assuming that's at DU. We've had master students who have gone and helped with the soccer team, but we haven't had any undergraduate students do that. And I think with that, I would just echo the kind of the message that Dr. G just said is, yeah, you could do it, but you're still a full-time student, and these are high performance environments, and they can be very, very demanding. So you want to make sure you're doing it at a time when you're ready and you're qualified and you can contribute, because oftentimes these coaches don't want to just mentor; they also want you to help, right? So I think the timing of it is important.
And I just encourage you too, right? Depending on what y'all want to do, and it varies by the coach and at DU in particular and anywhere that, if you want to start sometimes as a volunteer and intern to break down video, to scout an opponent, to do data analytics, and kind of putting together reports and practice tendencies. I just called my nephew, who's a freshman in college too, and was like giving him advice on he's interested in sport management, data analytics. He's always big into reading the newspapers sort of things and looking at stats. And so I was talking about behavioral economics and Moneyball sort of things because he loves baseball in particular. So there's all sorts of things that you can do and get your foot in there and show that passion, develop your education, and then be ready to go. Because it's a small world in the sport world. If we're talking about physical therapy or allied health careers, that'd be a little bit broader. But in the sport world, you'd be surprised how many people know each other. And when you develop that reputation, it'll follow you along to where, you want to be able to pick up the phone and talk to folks. It's something that your parents or others probably hear and you're like, but you find out real quickly, when you get on to college and start working these places that it's serious. shout out to Liam McBride, who I know too, from I see him on the attendee list. I've been in contact with Liam. Anybody else too? You guys have any other questions too, or any faculty, staff too? Anything else we want to specifically mention? If you major in Kinesiology, you're automatically going to get jacked. That absolutely happens. You just get yoked up and you get big traps. People will sometimes forget what your grades are, what you did on that project, but people will never forget your traps. If you have good looking traps and they're big, definitely going to follow you around the rest of your life. Thank you, anonymous attendee.
Well, I'll just add with the last few minutes here that if you're planning on attending any of the Fridays at DU events or the Journey to DU, for sure, stop by, say hello. At least I will be there, likely one of these wonderful faculty as well, but I hope to meet you all in person. And keep an eye out for emails, follow us on socials. All of us are happy to set up appointments with you, answer any questions. So please feel free to always reach out at any time, and we really do look forward to meeting you all.
Team follow back.
Kayla, thanks for the plugs on the visit opportunities. You can come in person to campus and see their big traps. Don't miss this opportunity.
Hey, I got to get my daughter signed up. She's gonna be at DU probably next year.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I got to get her coming.
Well, if there are no more questions, thank you everyone for asking great questions. Thank you for showing up tonight from all around the US, maybe even around the world. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Kinesiology and Sports Studies. You guys were amazing. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Again, all attendees will get an email from us with the video recording, and don't hesitate to reach out to any of us with further questions.
Tyler snuck one in there. He snuck one in there on the buzzer. On the buzzer.
Who did, Tyler? Spell Eleanor Kluger.
Yeah.
For admitted students day, that I believe Journey to DU, and Kayla, you're going to be there at Journey?
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, definitely for both of those. And also, if you're visiting on a day that's not one of the pre-planned events too, shoot us an email and somebody will meet with you for sure. And probably more than one somebody. So.
And maybe not like a Friday in the summer, please. Like Monday's good, Tuesday's good. Enjoy a Friday sometimes.
That's just our busiest visit day, so it might happen. Okay, well, thank you all so much. I'll end this session for you all, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their night.
Awesome. Thank y'all.